Hello, today's lesson is lesson 11-3 and it's called polygons. You've learned about lines, segments, and angles. Today you're going to distinguish among different shapes. Lots of different shapes that we learned about today. We started with a riddle. I have 3 sides and 3 vertices. That's a corner of a shape. 2 of my sides are the same length. Can you draw me on your dot paper? You don't need dot paper to do this. Just pause the video and see if you can draw a shape that follows those clues. Here's what it could have looked like. And then there's other answers that are correct as well. I have 4 sides. All of my sides are different lengths. Can you draw me on your dot paper? So pause the video and think about a shape you could draw that has 4 sides, all of them different lengths. More than one correct answer on this as well, but here's what I had for an answer. It does have 4 sides and all 4 sides are different lengths. Okay, we looked again at those shapes and we talked about how they're alike and how they're different. They are both polygons. And polygons, as we know, are closed shapes made up of line segments. A circle is a closed shape. A circle is not made up of line segments. A circle is not a polygon. So we had a sad little circle here. A heart is a closed shape. A heart is not made up of line segments. A heart is not a polygon. There's a sad heart. And this guy is also not a polygon. I'm made up of line segments, but I'm not a closed shape. I'm not a polygon. So you need to fit both of those criteria, both of those things to be a polygon. Each line segment is one side of the polygon. So we usually think of shapes as having sides, but we could also think of those sides as being line segments. And the point where 2 sides meet is the vertex of the polygon. We talked about vertices and vertex a lot today. Okay, we practiced this by labeling these on our paper. All polygons with 4 or more sides have something special about them. So in this case, triangle is a polygon, but it's not part of this particular group. We were going to say that polygons that have 4 or more sides, you can draw diagonals between the vertices that are not next to each other. So here's a picture showing some diagonals drawn on different shapes that have 4 or more sides. I found these online and they were just so cool and beautiful I wanted to show them to my students as well. Look at all those diagonals. A shape with 12 sides has over 100 diagonals. So one way to describe a polygon is by the number of sides it has. There's lots of different names of shapes and we call them those names based on how many sides they have. I highlighted the ones that we talk about the most. These are the ones that get mentioned in the book, and I also put a question mark on square because I wouldn't have said square if I had made those pictures. I would have called it a quadrilateral. There are other shapes with 4 sides that are not square. Another way to describe a polygon is whether or not you can draw diagonals outside the polygon. So it's hard to see on the screen, but we have convex polygons on the top. Convex are ones where all the diagonals are on the inside. And then we have concave polygons on the bottom, and those are ones where 1 or more diagonal can be drawn outside the shape. We thought about ways to remember these terms, and students were saying concave is like the word cave, and a cave is something you can go into out of something bigger. It's kind of a hole cut into some rock. It's a hole in something larger. Concave polygons have a hole. They have an entrance or a pushed in part. Convex does not have that. All of the corners are pushed out. And so convex reminds us of the word exit, which means to go out. Concave and convex. 2 important terms to remember. So we practiced that by drawing and labeling it on our paper. We looked at what the textbook looks like today. Tried a couple questions on our own. And that was it for today.